Hello viewers, welcome to my channel IIT JEE Olympiads and AP Physics with Ambarish. And in this video I'm carrying forward with INPHO 2019 solutions, and I'm going to present the solution to problem number 6. So let's have a look at the problem. Consider n moles of monatomic non-ideal realistic gas. Its equation of state may be described by the van der Waals equation. Here A and B are positive constants, and their symbols have usual meaning. So what's the equation? This is the standard van der Waals equation. P plus an square by v square into v by n minus b is equal to RT. Okay. And the internal energy change of a realistic gas can be given by du is equal to cv dt plus t into dp by dt at constant volume minus p into dv. Now they have directly given this equation. We can derive this based on the van der Waals theory, but in this problem we are not supposed to derive this. We'll be using this result directly as it's provided in the problem itself. Okay. As indicated in the above expression, the derivative of pressure is taken at constant volume. Okay. We take 1 mole of the gas n equal to 1 through diesel cycle A, B, C, D, A. So here's the cycle A, B, C, D, A. This is a diesel cycle. Okay. As shown in the following PV diagram, the diagram is not to the scale. During the whole cycle, assume that the molar heat capacity at constant volume Cv remains constant at 3R/2. So it is just like ideal gas, monoatomic ideal gas. The Cv is like that. Okay. Path AB and CD are reversible adiabats. Okay. So what's the process? AB. This is a reversible adiabatic process, or we can also say dq is 0 along this, delta q is 0, and it's a reversible process. So we can also say that it's an isentropic process. A to B isentropic process. Then B to C is an isobaric process. Okay. Then again we have an adiabatic or isentropic process. C to D reversible adiabatic or isentropic process. Okay. And D to A is an isochoric process. So this is our diesel cycle. Okay. And now we are supposed to answer some questions based on this. So let's look at the question. So A part of the question is obtain the temperature at B, TB in terms of temperature at A, TA, VA and VB are constants only. Okay, so now look at this graph. So we want to find out TB in terms of TA, VA and VB. If it were an ideal gas, our job was very simple. We know that in ideal gas for an adiabat it is simply TV to the power gamma equal to constant. TV to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. But it's not an ideal gas, so we'll have to do the derivation for the van der Waals gas. And try to recall how we derived TV to the power gamma minus 1 constant. We use the fact that dq is 0 for adiabat, and then we tried to arrive at a differential equation in T and V. So we are trying to do the same thing over here also. We'll try to derive a differential equation between T and V. So how do we do that? So since number of moles is 1, so our equation, van der Waals equation, put n equal to 1, we get this equation P plus A by V square into V minus B is RT. Okay. And this is already given in the question. du is equal to Cv dt plus T into dP by dt at constant volume minus P into dV. Now this can be simplified a little bit. So look at the first equation. So if you differentiate this with respect to temperature, what you will get, this dP by dt, if you find out, you take this V minus B over here, and this becomes P plus A by V square is equal to RT upon V minus B, right? And you differentiate it treating V as constant, so you get RT upon R upon V minus B, and you have to multiply a temperature over there, so it becomes R upon V minus B into T. So that's your T into dP by dt term, right? And minus P comes as it is, so this is your du, right? So du is this Cv dt plus this term, and you know that if you add dw to du, that becomes your dq. So and dw is nothing but pdv. So you take minus pdv from here to the other side. So this becomes du plus pdv, and right hand side what is left is your dq, right? So because du plus pdv is nothing but dq. So you get dq is equal to Cv dt plus RT upon V minus B into dV. Okay, that's your dq. And you know that for adiabatic processes dq must be 0. So this is straight away giving you a differential equation in T and V. And you just integrate it, equate to 0 and integrate it, and you'll get a relation between T and V. So let's look at the expression that we get. So delta S from A to B is 0, or you can say delta Q is also 0. So we just integrate this by separating the variable, equate it to 0. So what do you get? Integral dq by t is integral Cv dt by t. Okay, so just dq divided by t you are doing. Cv by t dt plus r upon v minus b dv. So this integral is equal to 0. Okay. So then what do you get by integrating this? You get Cv log of Tb by Ta is equal to minus R log of Vb minus B upon Va minus B. Okay. And you can just rearrange the terms to get the value of Tb. So what you get, the temperature at B as, that is Ta into Vb minus B upon Va minus B into minus R by Cv. Okay. And if you see carefully, this is nothing but actually if you take this Vb minus B, there's a negative power over there. You take it to the left side and you take this to the numerator. So this is nothing but actually instead of Tb into Vb to the power gamma minus 1, you are getting Tb into Vb minus B to the power gamma minus 1, right? So this expression is exactly similar to the one we get for ideal gas, except that instead of the volume, we are getting the volume minus the excluded volume because of the van der Waals theory. You know that some volume is excluded. So it is nothing but T into V minus B to the power gamma is constant. This is effectively that, right? Because Cv is what your Cv is F by 2 into R, okay, where F is the degrees of freedom, okay. So very neat expression. So Tb into Vb minus B to the power gamma is equal to T into Va minus B to the power gamma, and put the value of gamma and you get this, right, minus R by Cv. So that's your temperature at B. This is what we were supposed to find. So I hope the temperature at B part is very clear, and we'll be using this expression in our next part, because there we have to evaluate the temperature at C, but it turns out that to evaluate the temperature at C, we need to evaluate some other parameters, temperature at B, pressure at B, etc. So let's look at the next part. So now what is asked in the next part? Let the temperature at A to be Ta. So temperature at A is given as 100 Kelvin. Okay, this is given in the problem itself, 100 Kelvin. Va is 8 liters. So here the volume is 8 liters. That is also given in the question itself. Vb is 1 liter. This is also given in the question itself. And Vc is 2 liters. So this volume Vc is also given in the question itself. Values of A and B are given in the question. And calculate the highest temperature reached during the whole cycle. Okay. So now let's think, where will the temperature be highest? So you see that from B to C, it's an isobaric heating process, right? So isobaric heating process, the temperature increases, right? So C must be hotter than B, right? And C to D is what? C to D is adiabatic expansion, right? So in adiabatic expansion, the temperature goes down. So that means C is hotter than B and C is also hotter than D, right? And D to A is what is happening. D to A is isochoric cooling. So again, A is colder than D. So the hottest point is C. Another way of looking at this is you can think in terms of isotherms on the PV diagram. So isotherms, just treat it like a ideal gas for a while, just for the argument's sake, because A and B are generally very small. So isotherms are like this, right? So as you go away from the origin in the PV diagram, the temperature increases. So there will be an isotherm passing through C, and there's an adiabat. So adiabat is going to be steeper than the isotherm, right? So that means what? The isotherm that passes through D is coming before the isotherm that passes through C. So C has to be the point of highest temperature in the entire cycle. Okay. So now let's try to evaluate the temperature at C. So before that, temperature at B, we found this expression in the previous part. And if you solve by putting in the values of Vb and Va that are given in the question, you get temperature at B is as 407.5 Kelvin. So we know the temperature at this point, right? Now, how do we proceed further? So now once you know the temperature at B, you can easily find the pressure at B, which is same as the pressure at C. Okay. So temperature at B is known, so pressure can be found by van der Waals equation. So Pb plus A upon Vb square plus Vb minus B square to R times Tb. So now in this equation, the only unknown is Pb. Vb and A and B and Tb are known. Okay, Tb is known just now in the previous part, and everything else is given in the question. So we just solve for Pb, and if you solve, you get Pb is equal to 33.18 atmosphere. And this pressure has to be same as the pressure at C, because B to C is an isobar. So we now know pressure at C. So once I know the pressure at C, again I can use the van der Waals equation, right? So pressure at C, if it is known and volume at C is known, then we can easily find out the temperature at C. So that's what we have done. So temperature at C is just, you can rearrange the van der Waals equation like this. And you get the temperature at C is 1 by R Pc plus A upon Vc square to Vc minus B, and Pc you can put at as 33.18 atmosphere, and everything else is given in the question, right? So you just put in the values, and what you get, Tc comes out to be 804 Kelvin. Okay, so that's our solution to part B. Now what about the next part? So in the next part, we are supposed to find out the efficiency of the cycle, calculate the efficiency of the cycle. Now what is the cycle efficiency? You know that cycle efficiency is nothing but work output divided by positive heat input. Okay, so now in this, because there are two adiabats, our job becomes very simple. You know that C to D is an adiabatic process and A to B is also an adiabatic process. That means what? There is no heat being exchanged along the path CD and AB. So there are 2 points where heat is getting exchanged. The process B to C, where heat is getting input into the cycle. From B to C, heat is getting inside the cycle, and from D to A, heat is being rejected from the cycle. So what is the work done? It is nothing but heat input minus the rejected heat. So we just need to evaluate what is the heat exchange between B and C, and we also need to evaluate what is the heat exchange between D and A, what is the heat rejected between D and A. So Qin and Qout we will be calculating. Okay, and for that we will be preliminarily using need to calculate some other quantities. So let's see what are the quantities that we need to calculate for calculating these values. So one thing we'll be needing is temperature at D, because from D to A the heat rejected will be Cv delta T, right? NCV delta T. So for delta T you need to know the temperature at D. So this 316 Kelvin we are evaluating now. How we are evaluating? Recall that from in part A we had a relation between TA and TB as TA into VA minus small b to the power gamma minus 1 is equal to TB into VB minus small b to the power gamma minus 1. That's the kind of result that we got for A to B process. And C to D is again similar process. So we'll be using the same result. So we can say that TC into VC minus B to the power 2 by 3 is TD into VD minus B to the power 2 by 3. So I know TC, I know VC. TC I calculated in the previous part. I know the value of VC from the previous part, and VD also I know from the previous part. So just need to calculate TD, and that comes out to around 316 Kelvin. Okay, so I know TD. Now what about the heat that is going from B to C? So this du expression was given in the question itself, and we rearranged by taking PdV to the left hand side to get the expression for dq, and that expression comes out to be Cv dt plus RT upon V minus B into dV. So this is your dq. So what is the total heat that goes from process B to C? Just integrate this expression from B to C, and it's very easily integrable. You can see that. Okay, so let's see what's the integration. Okay, so fine. So let's see how to integrate this. This is okay. Yeah. Okay, RT upon V minus B we have substituted in terms of pressure, P plus A by V square. From Van der Waals equation we know that this is correct. And P plus A by V square, now this can be integrated easily because pressure is constant and A by V square dV is just volume, integration volume. So we just integrate this right hand side equation, and if you integrate this, this is what you get: Cv Tc minus Tv plus Pb into Vc minus Vb, and A by V square integral is minus A by V, so we need to put in the value Vc by Vb, limits I have put. And if you calculate this value, okay, fine, we'll be able to calculate this value. Just we need to substitute all these terms, pressure and temperatures and volumes we just put in, and we get the value of Q input. Okay, and similarly we can find out Q output, and Q output is rather easy because it's a constant volume process. So simply Cv into Ta minus Td. Okay, rather it should have been Td minus Ta if you are taking, depends on the whether you are taking signed value or unsigned value. So this is what you get as heat rejected. So instead, in fact, if you want the magnitude, it is just Cv into Td minus Ta, right? And this is your Q output. So now what is your efficiency? So efficiency is simply 1 minus Q out upon Qn. Okay, and this Q out you can calculate by putting the value of temperature and Cv. And if you calculate 1 minus Q out by Qn, you get the efficiency as 67.7%, just putting in all the values, which is approximately, you can say, 68%. So that's our answer to part C. Now let's look at the D and the last part, that is part D. So what do we have to do? We have to draw the corresponding TS diagram, entropy diagram, and VT diagram for the diesel cycle. Wherever possible, mention the numerical values of T, V and S on the diagrams. Okay, so now let's see. So B to A is an isentropic process, and rather A to B is an isentropic process, and C to D is also an isentropic process. So these processes will look like vertical straight lines on TS diagram, right? And B to C, I need to calculate the entropy change, and you know that entropy is a state function. So whatever is the entropy change from B to C, so when you come back to B, the same entropy has to be restored, right? And C to D, there's no entropy change, and D to A, there's some entropy change, and A to B, again there's no entropy change. So B to C entropy change should be exactly equal to the D to A entropy change in magnitude and opposite in sign. So just let's find out the entropy change from B to C. So delta S from B to C is nothing but dq by T from B to C. Okay, and dq expression we had found. We are just putting the expression for dq, that is CV dt plus R upon V minus B dV, and this we are integrating from B to C. And if you integrate this, all temperatures and all volumes are known from the previous parts. Just integrate and put in the values, and you get delta S is equal to 1.73 R. Okay, so from A to D, the entropy is increasing by 1.73 R. You can look at the bottom of the screen, right bottom. 1.73 R is the increase in entropy from from B to C, entropy is increasing by 1.73 R, and from D to A, it's decreasing by the same amount. And these are the verticals. Now once I have points A, B, C, D, now I can simply join. So A to B is simple vertical, and C to D has to be vertical. What about B to C? So now you might be wondering that why it has to be curved upwards, and why not it can be like a downward curvature. So that's also very simple to see. So what's the shape of a polytropic process for an ideal gas on a TS diagram? So it's almost ideal gas, van der Waals gas with small a and b. The nature of the curve will be almost like that for ideal gas. So let's see how will an ideal gas curve look like on a TS diagram. So you know that dq is TdS, so which is also equal to C times GT, where C is the specific heat for the polytropic process, right? So that means what? You can just integrate this expression, take dt over here. So delta S is integral T naught to T C dt by T. So we can see that T is equal to T naught e to the power delta S by C. So it's an exponential curve, right? As the entropy is increasing, you know that T is going to rise with exponentially, right? So that's why and exponential curves, you know, they are like this. So this is B to C is an exponentially increasing curve, right? Because specific heat is definitely positive, and A to D, if the curve were A to D, again it would have been exponentially increasing curve. Just that specific heat here is like it's a constant volume process, so specific heat factor here, C factor will be different, but again from A to D it's an exponential rising curve. The process is D to A. Okay, fine. So I hope the TS curve for the process is amply clear. And then we have to also draw the VT graph. Again for VT graph is going to be very simple, because we know all the volumes and all the temperatures from previous parts. So we just can plot all the points on the TV diagram, and how to join them. So joining them is also very simple. So all these processes, they are like polytropic processes, like for qualitatively we can say like polytropic processes for ideal gas. And what's the equation for a polytropic process? That is TV to the power x minus 1 is constant, and the slope can be just found by differentiating log v plus x minus 1 log t. You differentiate that, so and you will get dt by dv. And also by second derivative you can comment on the curvature of the various sections of the VT graph. So let's just if you plot the points, the values, and plot the appropriate curvatures, and you will get this shape of the VT diagram, okay, based on the data that we had already calculated in parts A, B and C. Okay, so that's our VT graph, and that completes our solution to the 6th problem of INPHO 2019. And I hope all of you like this video, and if you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, and please share this video as much as possible with your friends and your peers and all those students who are preparing for IIT JEE or Olympiads, who might find it useful and who are in your contact. Please share this video as much as possible, and please do give it a thumbs up. And I thank you all very much for watching this video, and see you in the next video.